Hey guys, welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and Horoscopes. Today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys born in the year of the rabbit. So welcome back all my bunny buddies. We will be doing a slightly different reading today because I am starting something new. Yay! My plan is to do a 9-card spread instead of a 3. Now it's something that I started to do on Patreon, but I really want to explore more into it, and I want to offer it out there for all of everybody. You know, I've always said that I didn't like necessarily the idea to charge for readings and that I would want to do them for free, so here I am offering it for free. However, I do have a link in the description below for Patreon if anybody would like to support me. If they would just like to offer general support, the readings will still be here on YouTube for anybody and everybody to watch. But if you would like to just show some support, you can do through that link, which I plan to use to design and create my own deck of Chinese Zodiac cards. So if you'd like to support me in that endeavor, then please do hit that link. If not, no worries. We're going to be here anyway. And my idea is fairly simple. I've done this for the first 3 signs now already, so I'm kind of getting into a groove a little bit. But we're going to pull out 3 sets of cards. We're going to pull out 3 for a general reading like you would usually have, 3 for romantic and love, and then 3 for finance and career. Because these readings will be 9 cards, it's going to take me longer to do them. And therefore, it's going to take up a lot more of my time. And that is why I have now decided that I'm going to be doing the readings once a month rather than once a week. So I will be doing a 9-card spread now for the beginning of May, and then I'll be back for another rabbit reading at the beginning of June, which will be 9 cards again, and so on and so forth. It's hard for me to keep up doing 12 readings a week, so I hope this way I can not only explore more with the Chinese Zodiac cards by doing 9 cards, but I can also deliver them more efficiently because I won't have that extra pressure of trying to get them all done in a week. So, without further ado, I'm going to shuffle these cards up as normal, as I always have done, eyes closed, until we find 3 for your general reading. So let's move them all around, shuffle them about, move them about here and there and everywhere, and do this and that and everything until we stop about there. And we're going to take that one from the bottom. We're going to take this one from the middle. We're going to take this one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we've got 2 blacks and a white to start us off with, 2 negatives and a positive. Let's not get too disheartened though. Black isn't always an attack and white isn't always all right. It all depends and will always depend on the compatibility of the cards. That's what makes this channel unique. That's what makes this type of reading, or my readings, individualistic. Because I'm the only person that does this, and that's how it works. So we're going to push those up there for just a second. That's the first one we'll do. But then what we're going to do is we're just going to shuffle them again. But this time we're going to put some intentions into it, and we're going to ask it some advice for love, some messages for love and romance, and that sort of matters of the heart. What have we got going on? Let's see. Let's find out. As we close our eyes, we shuffle them about, and we stop about there. I'm going to take that one from the bottom. We're going to take that one from the middle. We're going to take that one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we've got 1 positive and then the 2 negatives. So the negatives are starting to outnumber the positives quite a lot here. Black isn't always an attack, but it is starting to look a little bit of an attack, isn't it? When we see it like this, it does look quite doom and gloom, but we still got 3 more cards to pull out. So let's pull out 3 more cards, which are going to be career and finance and money orientated. Let's see how things are doing for you in that sector, shall we? As we shuffle these cards around one last time and we pick out 3 for you. Let's see, shall we, as we stop about there. And we're going to take that one from the bottom. We're going to take that one from the middle. We're going to take that one from the top. What have we got? Okay, another 1 positive and 2 negatives. You know, in a deck of only 12 negatives, to get 9 would be very unlucky. I think 6 is probably just as bad in this first reading for you guys. But what we're going to do is we're going to move the money cards down, and then we're going to move the romantic love cards down, and then we're going to slide in the general reading into view, into center frame there, just as normal, because it just saves me with the editing. So we're going to start off with these 3 cards. The black first. Let's flip her over, see what we got. We've got that dog, the negative dog, the black dog. Now, for a rabbit, in general, the dog is not a bad card. It can be compatible. You can have a rewarding union from the dog, but we are seeing it in the negative. So we're seeing a lack of communication in some respects. Maybe we're seeing a lack of boundaries, or maybe somebody that's stepping over your boundaries. Somebody's not respecting your boundaries. Maybe it could work either way here. This early on with 1 card, I mean, we've still got these 2 here, but maybe it may not be them stepping over your boundary. You could be stepping over boundaries. And without talking about it, without expressing or communicating, maybe you're unaware that you're stepping over boundaries. Maybe the person isn't telling you as much. Maybe that person is kept quiet because they don't really know how to address it. So you think that it's all okay to do what you're doing when it might not be. And this works vice versa, because if somebody's stepping over your boundaries, or, you know, not respecting them, and you're not saying anything, then they don't know this, then they could be doing it unintentionally, or doing it with no idea that it's actually bothering you or upsetting you or triggering you, or, you know, disrespecting you. A lack of communication here. That's what we're seeing with that dog card, which is unfortunate. It's almost like a lack of effort here. It's almost like a lack of caring. It's almost like a lack of caring on that person's behalf, whether it be you stepping over someone else's boundaries or them disrespecting yours. It's because of a lack of care. It's a lack of consideration. It's actually quite rude, to be honest. It's actually quite well, I suppose if you know about it, if you know that you're disrespecting this person or disrespecting this boundary, or they know that they're disrespecting your boundary, then that's not good. That's not good at all. However, they might not be aware of it, as I say, because it's not been voiced. So maybe I shouldn't jump the gun too quickly and start judging too much. I mean, we are moving into this other negative, so I will suggest that there is more to this than meets the eye. But the lack of communication, the lack of actually talking about this, is why we've got this lack of peace, or this lack of a peaceful environment for you. In this general reading, what we're looking at is what is happening generally in your environment, what's going on around you, what's happening, what's influencing you, what's there. And right now, it would appear that there is a disrespect of boundaries to start us off with, and this is because of a lack of communication. It's going to come at a cost as well. There's a rooster. Big problem for a rabbit person. A very big problem. Now, that's your conflict card. A white rooster, not great. A black rooster, bloody worse. We are looking at this in the general reading as well, so this is going to influence what we see as we move forward throughout, obviously, your romantic relationship aspects and your career and finance aspects, because it's a general in-life situation. So we are seeing it coming, you know, quite harshly here towards you, in a, like, it's almost like a frying pan's being thrown at your head here to kind of snap you out of this delusion. On one hand, you can't just be going across people's boundaries and breaking and disrespecting them. You deserve the frying pan thrown at your head. Or, on the other hand, they have no right to be coming over here and breaking your boundaries and disrespecting your boundaries. You have every right to throw a frying pan at their head. Because it will be costly. It will be costly. The rooster and the rabbit do not get on. It's your direct conflict card. Everybody has one, and this is yours. You're going to have very up and down month, I think. It's going to be very difficult. And again, it's that approach to communication. I mean, you can pretend that it's a level of etiquette or decorum. You can pretend that you're doing it to keep the peace. You can pretend that, you know, it's beneath you to trudge through the mud. But if you're already in the mud and it's already knee deep, the mud's knee deep, you're stood in it. You must be deluded to think that it's not affecting you. It will affect you either way. With either example here, whether it's you disrespecting them or them disrespecting you, and I think maybe it's a case of you may have this conflict because of a mixture of both now, tit for tat, pettiness. Maybe because you're coming across as condescending or patronizing or, you know, belittling, because it appears that you're looking down your nose at them. You're looking down your nose at them and being a little bit snobberish in the name of keeping the peace, or the name of good manners, or the, you know, or you know, some kind of decorum or etiquette, like I've said. To put it bluntly, you're keeping your mouth shut because you think that it would be better if you did. But the truth of it is that's going to come at a cost, and you're getting judged for that. You will be judged for this. Communication is a big issue at the moment. Not talking and not expressing and not dealing with this. People don't know what you're doing. People don't know the boundary line. That's what, well, this is what it's coming to now, is that maybe people are disrespecting your boundaries and you're disrespecting their boundaries as a tit for tat. They did it, you did it, I'm gonna do it, they've done it, well, I'm gonna do it back. It's them versus me versus them, back and forth, because nobody's actually sat down and spoken about the boundaries. Nobody's actually spoken about the conditions. Nobody's actually spoken about what is expected. And of course, that becomes a big problem when there's more than one person involved. Disrespecting one person's boundaries, they can disrespect another person's boundaries. It's just, again, as I say, a big cycle of tit for tat. Without that communication, it's almost like we're asking for trouble. And there's going to be big trouble. Big trouble. There's that tiger card coming in. And again, you can't really make this up. But the lines of communication between the rabbit and the tiger are not great. Honestly, that is what it says. That is what it is. That is what is written. So we've got all this communication issue right now. Whether or not that tiger is in the positive or not, it doesn't matter. Nitty gritty of it is the tiger and the rabbit have bad communication. It is, however, a communicating card. Like the dog, it can and does fluently communicate well. And I think this is your sort of your do or don't moment. This is this kind of opportunity. This month will be an opportunity where you will get to a point where you'll be presented with a chance to maybe not fix things or fix it or fix whatever it is, but you will have that opportunity for negotiation or compromise or just communicate in general about these boundaries and where the boundary line actually is. When that arises, when that comes, you need to speak up. There's no point allowing others to set boundaries and you pretend you're okay with it and then going away feeling cheated or feeling like it's been unfair. That's just going to come back and haunt you. That's just going to come and cause more problems. I think right now, a lot of this is leading towards animosity. I think a lot of this is going to start leading to an emotional investment where it will become more than just a petty feud, and it will become a lot more than that. I think that tiger energy is going to escalate it, especially if you believe you are right. And if you are right, then you're right, and nobody's going to ever change that about it, and your truth is your truth. But while you're there throwing frying pans and frying pans are getting thrown, just remember that still to this point, nobody's actually said where the boundary line is. Nobody has actually said what the rules are. So you need to evaluate that for resolution. You need to work on that And when the opportunity arises, you will have the choice to take that opportunity and move on from this and achieve something from this and be progressive and productive from this, successful from this. Or you can keep your mouth shut, not say anything, don't communicate, don't talk about things, don't talk about what you're actually going through, and then it will just come back around full cycle in the end, and you will be back in this place again, not knowing where boundary lines are, and boundary lines being disrespected, even though nobody knows where or if those boundary lines even exist. But we'll find out, won't we? When we come back and do another general reading for you in June. But for now, we will move on to the romance and love sector. We'll find out what things are going on when it comes to matters of the heart for rabbit people. First card then is the rat. Not a bad card. Not a bad card. The rabbit and the rat maintain a good working relationship, and I think right now it's a symbol of you putting your focus and energy into something else rather than actually putting it into a relationship. Whether you're in a relationship or single, the relationship part of your life is not necessarily important right now. You're more kind of maybe focusing a little bit more on family. That could be one of the same. You know, if you're married or in a long-term relationship, committed relationship, you know, that is your family, and that's what you're focusing on, is that family element. Maybe, you know, you're single and you're not in a relationship or a marriage, but you're focusing on your family. You know, you're seeing family, or you're going on holiday with family, you're hanging out with family, you're being around your family. And that's a good substitute or a good kind of replacement for what you're not actually caring too much about. The thing is, though, here is, my lovely rabbit people, is that if you don't care about the relationship and you're in a relationship, that relationship is not going to be there for very long. And if you're single and you don't care about a relationship, then that's fair enough. You could be happily single. Nobody's going to judge you for that or begrudge you for it. But if you're happily single and you are, you know, concentrating on family and stuff like this, it could get to a point where a romantic sort of interest may present itself. Now, that could present itself in any shape or form at any time. And when it does, or if it does, you're going to have a choice to make. You have to have a choice whether to go with it and change your entire course of, you know, plans and routine and stuff like this to accommodate that, or stay single and not do anything about it. In a relationship, though, I think realistically that effort, doing stuff and focusing on the relationship, that needs to be addressed. Concentrating on family is great. Yes, that's fantastic and brilliant. And it could be one of the same. You could be like, well, you know, my wife or husband is my family. But if you're going out with your sibling, your brother or your sister, every weekend to play bowls down the bowls club, that's weekends that you're not spending with your partner. And if it's every single weekend, nobody can really have a go at you for spending time with family. But again, it's one of the same. Your wife or your husband is still your family. So you need to have a happy balance here. You need to find balance. Also, that rat is a prepper. It's preparing. It's to be prepared. So while you're there just not making a relationship a priority, you need to prepare for the consequences of that. In a relationship, if you're not prioritizing the relationship, the chances are your relationship is going to fail. If you're single and you're happy being single and you're just plodding along being single and you're not putting in much effort or doing anything to prepare for a future with anybody, you're going to have to prepare to be single for, like, you know, to die single, I guess. You know, I'm not going to be like really harsh about it and say you'll die cold and alone. But I will say, like, if you're happily single, that's what is going to happen. It's a fact. It's inevitable. You will not have that partnership or companionship as you grow older, and that may not bother you. That may not fuss you at all. But you don't know how future you feels about that. So it's something to consider. As I say, that rat is a prepper, that rat is a planner, that rat is somebody that is thinking forward, and it's thinking forward in a romantic sense. So potentially it's now planning for that next step. So you need to be prepared whether to embrace the idea of a relationship, or to fix the relationship you're in, or lose out on it completely. We are looking at two negatives here, however. One of them being the Rabbit card, a catalyst card, a change, something changing. Now, rabbits get on fine with their own kind. The compatibility isn't really an issue here, but what we are seeing is a negative impact of something, and something is going to come to an end. It's funny that, because we were just saying about not putting in effort, and that lack of effort resulting in losing what we had or losing what we have, focusing elsewhere. And when I just have to clarify, when I say family could also be people that we consider close friends to ours, that we see as basically family, close friends, and friends that we are very sort of committed and dedicated to. The type of friends that are always there, coming over for a cup of tea, or you've got a spare key to their house, or their mother's maiden name, for example. Very close friends. Something's going to happen where prioritizing family or very, very close friends and whatnot over your loved ones, and as I say, it's going to have consequences. It's going to have a sort of negative impact on things. That rabbit is going to change a lot of stuff. Again, it's going to push things away from you in a very quick way, and I think it's going to give you enough room, or it's going to give you enough kind of space where you're going to actually feel it. It's going to be like, oh shit, this is where I'm at now. This is where I'm at. And this is what the rat has been preparing you for. This rat has been preparing you for this push, for this kind of, I'd say in some ways, a kick in the arse, if you like. We've been talking about moving for a long time, rabbits, let's be honest. Maybe where you need to move away from is this relationship situation. Maybe you prefer hanging out with your friends over your relationship, or hanging out with your, mum and your dad rather than your husband or wife, because it's not necessarily somewhere you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to be concentrating on. Maybe you are, again, in that wrong place. We are looking at change, though, and that change could be in the form of a different place of living, or a different working environment. It could be a place of, I want to say, like, new opportunities, and maybe something's going to attract your attention, which could be a complication. You could find that there is a very complicated consequence to your change of environment or your change of situation. It's going to be very unexpected. And again, how you deal with that will affect the result. It will. But I do think that there will be opportunities here that will open up doors to allow you to explore something new. But it's not going to be romantic. It's not going to have a relationshipy kind of, it's not going to be the one. It's not going to be the one. That's the negative snake there in the black. We are looking at a romantic card, a emotionally attachment card, an intimate card in the negative. So I can see this kind of little story that's going on here, isn't it? That's what it is. We're seeing a lack of effort putting in. We're seeing a kind of not giving a care about a certain relationship or situation. That's going to have negative consequences and a negative impact, and it's unfortunately going to end in a not so very nice way. As we've already said, we have got this rooster coming in and showing that there is going to be a cost this month. Is that cost a relationship? Is it a relationship? We can't say if it is or if it's not, but this relationship spread is not looking incredibly great. And that's great, okay, fine, if you're single, because you're not going to care, because you're going to go, well, I'm single anyway, so I don't care if I have a relationship, I don't care if anybody fancies me, I don't care if there's people interested in me. If you're happily single, then that's fine, great for you. But if you're not so happily single and you're going out there and putting yourself out there, I'm going to say just expect to be rejected a couple of times. You're not going to meet the one. It's going to be very up and down. It's going to be very rocky. And I think in relationships themselves in general, the forecast here is probably, again, a lack of communication, shutting down, a lack of effort, rather go away from the situation than actually resolve the situation. Again, this could be the resulting lack of boundaries or disrespecting of boundaries, because there's no communication. It's a big shutdown, and there's a big issue there where everybody's kind of like falling out with everybody else, and they don't really know why, because nobody's actually talking about it. But they do know that now that there is a huge shouting match and chairs being thrown and frying pans apparently, and nobody really knows how to resolve this. That snake is holding on to it though, because you believe in your own vanity that you are the one that is right, and you believe that it is just a phase, and you can and maybe intend to wait this out and just see what happens. Maybe you feel that you are naive enough to believe that if you just wait around long enough, it will fix itself. Maybe this new love interest idea, or this new relationship, I mean, you could just be, you know, finding yourself in a situation where you found someone new, or you found this like new opportunity, as I've said, you know, there's an opportunity to go on a date with this person, and it is going to be good, and you may feel like it's going to be great. But again, I just think you need to prepare for the past here that you're holding on to and not able to let go, coming back around and maybe just biting you in the arse a little bit, because we're not talking about it and addressing it, therefore not letting it go. That can be dragged through our next relationships, not just the relationship after that one, but maybe more after that. But we'll find out, won't we, next month in June, when we come back and we do another spread for your love and romantic element. The last bit of this reading will be now the reading for your money, finance, and almost like work, business, career-y kind of cards. So let's start off with the first card, and it's a good one for careers, if you like, because the dragon is associated with being a good business person and is quite productive when it comes to the workplace. And I do feel like there is something that's keeping you busy and occupied here. You've got this, as I say, this great opportunity maybe, or a new opportunity, or just comfortability. Maybe it's comfortability and security in a job that you've had for years, but it is definitely something that you are looking at focusing on, rather than the relationship aspect and the general hassle of things that are going on for you right now. It's easy for you to go to work and be at work because you don't communicate. You don't need to talk about your problems. You don't need to bring your love life to work. You don't need to bring your home life to work. You don't need to bring in anything to work that you don't feel comfortable talking about. So you can just shut everybody out because it's work. You're not paid to talk. You're not paid to make friends. You're paid to do that job. And now that you're in this job, or you know, when you're at that job, you're feeling secure. You're feeling like it's a safe space. The dragon and the rabbit, they can get along. They can be compatible. There can be clashes, though. There can be clashes, and there may be clashes where you are expected to maybe do something you're not used to. You could be underestimated or underappreciated, but I think it may be a case of it could be a bit overwhelming and not as you thought it would be when things start to be addressed to you, like in a new job or a new situation. You could have been going in to be a cleaner, and as you turn up with your feather duster and your polish, they've gone, oh no, you're not here to clean. No, you've got to go and be a lifeguard at the swimming pool over there. And you'd be like, hang on a minute, I'm not a lifeguard. What are you talking about? And you're going to be put in a situation that's new and uncomfortable and weird and strange, and you're not going to necessarily feel like it is what you were there to do. Something is going to be expected of you that you're not necessarily used to, or what you wouldn't necessarily expect. But I think you're going to do it anyway. Because again, it's easier just to get on with it and do it than it is to not have it and have to deal with everything else. Got the black tiger coming in. We've got a power struggle. Now the lines as we've said before previously, the lines of communication are not strong between the rabbit and the tiger, and we are now seeing it in the negative, where your arrogance or your ignorance or your bluntness or your direct approach in the workplace could start causing a bit of a problem. And I think this is coming from maybe a power struggle, or it could be a previous workplace or a current workplace that you're in, where someone new has started and they think they are the big I am, and it's getting on your toes, you know. Well, they're treading on your toes and getting on your tits. It could equally be you going to a new place and you being the big I am, being a little bit, you know, OTT with it, being a little bit hot-tempered maybe, pushing that dominance around, kind of being a bit full on. And I think this could have consequences for you. I think this could cause problems for you emotionally as well, because you're gonna, I feel you're gonna get put down a peg or two. It's almost like, you know, you need this job, you need to be in this situation, you need this current affair of where you're at to keep on doing what you're doing, whether that's, you know, in your current job, sorry, or a new situation. You are kind of like desperate, so you need to be there. And while you're there, you've got to kind of put up with what's thrown at you. Again, coming back to that kind of disrespecting of boundaries, especially if you're new, you're not really going to know the situation, or you're not really going to know like how the sort of cliques work, or how the kind of social structure is. So it's like going in blind. You've gone into this blind, and now you have no choice but to stay there and kind of put up with it until you kind of learn it. And it's going to be a slow, painful process. There's that ox. Not necessarily a good card in this context, because that ox is slow and requiring a lot of patience. I don't think you can commit to this. I don't think you can dedicate to this. And I think maybe perhaps if you really thought about it, you might actually agree that you're doing it for the wrong reasons, or you are doing it for reasons that might not necessarily be reasons that make sense anymore. Like, you could have had an idea that you're going to do this, do that, and you're going to get this and this from it. Well, this and this isn't happening anymore, so you're here doing that now instead. The reasons of why you started, or the reasons why you were in this job in the first place, or the reasons you were in this situation in the first place, aren't even there anymore. Reasons have changed. Without the reasoning, it's becoming a bit of a shit show. And I do feel, again, it's that lack of communication. It's that reluctance to talk about this and actually resolve this in a proper manner. It's that resolution that we're trying to find. You're staying in that same place you've always been. You just move bits around. It's like you've always been in the same room, but sometimes you put the table over in that corner. And then sometimes you close the curtains and it gives a different atmosphere. Yeah, but it's still the same room. And I really don't think this room is somewhere that you need to be. And I think if you were to leave the room, you would find that places would excel in the love life area and in the career area. And I think the reason that you're stuck in this situation is generally you are stagnant and not achieving your full potential. Maybe there could be more to it than that. It could be something that's holding you back, something that you, like I say, you believe in. Like, you believe, like, out of decorum and etiquette and stuff, that it'd be better to stay quiet, when really actually talking about it, even if it turns into an argument, at least we're getting stuff off our chest, and we're actually opening up opening up the possibilities for resolution and then positive change. We'll find out, won't we, in June when we come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the rabbit. My next reading will be for those born in the year of the dragon. So if you're interested in what those guys are up to, I will see you over there next. Maybe you have a dragon friend. Maybe your brother or your sister's a dragon. Maybe there is someone in your life that is a dragon and you want to know what you're in store for this week from them, and you want to know how they're going to be. Check it out if you are. If not, no worries. I will just see you in a reading for the rabbit people next time, which will be at the beginning of June. So if you hit that subscribe button, you won't miss it. Thank you for watching, guys. Love and peace.